Hi, my name is Laura, and I'm going to tell you my story. One morning in June of 2014, I woke up feeling very strange. I had just had a baby 2 weeks prior, and I got up to feed him. Once I did that, I just was achy and was short of breath. I had numbness in my arm, and it started going up my neck. Just having a baby, I was fearful that I was experiencing a blood clot in my chest, in my lungs. So I called the doctor, and they said to go to the ER. When I got to the ER, they started doing lots of tests. The EKG was normal, the CT scan was normal, the chest x-ray was normal, and the ultrasound checking for a blood clot was normal. The only thing that was abnormal was my blood work. They chose to keep me overnight, which was devastating to a new mom who wanted to be with her brand new baby. I woke up in the morning and the doctor came in, and it was a cardiologist. I was expecting a hospitalist or my regular doctor, but it was a cardiologist, which surprised me. She came in and told me that I had experienced a heart attack. And the next step was to have a procedure called a heart cath, where they would go in and check out my veins and see what caused the heart attack. So I woke up in the recovery room, and my mom and my husband Josh were standing there, and they both looked like they had been crying, so I knew the news was not good. They told me that I had a 70% blockage in my circumflex artery, but they did not break up that blockage. They did not stent the blockage because of my age, and they felt like I was too young. I was just about to turn 32. The doctor decided to put me on medication to regulate the blockage. But several months went by, and I was still having symptoms. I was still having shortness of breath. I was still having chest pain and dizziness and overall heaviness and tiredness. And I just knew that things weren't right, and I didn't want this to be my new normal. I experienced a lot of fear, debilitating fear at times, and anxiety, where I thought my life was over. Being a new mom, the only thing I could do at times was pray and read my Bible and listen to worship music. God was the only thing that got me through, and of course my wonderful husband Josh, who was there with me the whole time, always encouraging me, and my children. I kept praying for healing. Every time there was prayer offered, I would go down and have prayer. Everybody was praying for me, my family, my church family. I did feel peace, but I was also very scared. Well, several months went by, and in November, the symptoms just were not any better, and my doctor told me I needed to have the stent placed in the blockage. I went in to have the procedure done, and the night before the procedure, I really had peace and had a lot of people praying for me, everybody at church and friends and family. But specifically, 2 family friends walked in my room, and they were armed with their anointing oil, and they came in, and I felt the presence of God. Right then and there, they laid hands on me along with Josh and just prayed for healing and God's intervention in my situation. And at that moment, I actually had a vision, and I've never had a vision before, but it was of Jesus standing behind me in the cath lab. It was the same lab that they had done the first procedure, and he was standing right beside me, right behind me, and I just had perfect peace, and I knew that I was going to be okay. The next morning, I went in to have the procedure, and it was the same doctor and the same technician that had done it before. The nurse that prepared me for it, though, her name was Miracle, and she was very sweet and took very good care of me. Once they started the procedure, I actually had trouble going to sleep right away, so they had to use a little bit more anesthesia. But in the middle of the procedure, for just a moment, I woke up enough to hear him say, "The blockage isn't there. There's nothing to stent." I went back to sleep and woke up in recovery and saw my mom and Josh again, but this time it looked like Christmas morning. They said that I had been healed and that there was no blockage there and there was no reason to do the procedure. God had made me well.